Well, another week, another reimagining of an old IP for modern audiences. This time it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this trailer dropped today. This time the Turtles are going to be brought to us by Seth Rogen, who brought us the Invincible animated series, which is a solid piece of work. So we're going to give this one a bit of the benefit of the doubt. But instead of coming together as a united fandom and looking at this newly reimagined version of the Ninja Turtles and say, no matter what little nitpicks we may have, it can always get worse. Much worse. No, we have to look at this version of the Ninja Turtles, and rather than just kind of take it based on its virtues and merits, of course, the internet's going to focus in on one thing, and that, in this case, is their stalwart companion, April O'Neil. And yes, this is April O'Neil in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie. Drink it in. Here's the character design. So yeah, obviously she has been race swapped, but if I'm not mistaken, she was race swapped in the last iteration of the Ninja Turtles that Netflix put on. And honestly, this is a modern reimagining of an old IP. At this point, I'm insulted if they don't do this, because how else am I going to know that this was made for modern audiences and this is a modern movie? I mean, it would be silly for them not to do it. But this has dropped kind of a nuclear bomb on the internet, because while this is the April that most of us grew up with, most of us know, the auburn hair, the yellow jumpsuit, the TV reporter, friend of the Ninja Turtles, and it looks like they kept a lot of that in this design. She's still got the yellow. I mean, she's got the jacket. She's holding a notepad, so she's got to be some kind of reporter. She looks kind of young, and I think that's a backpack on the ground next to her. So I'm guessing maybe school newspaper. Because again, I think we're dealing with a very young version of the Ninja Turtles and crew. But yeah, so they obviously took liberties when it came to the character's race, and this has dropped the worst onto the internet. And I'm not just talking about the people who are going online and who are obviously making inappropriate comments about the race swapping, because we know that it's not that makes us upset. It's not the fact that they made April O'Neil black that really makes us mad. It's the fact that they keep doing it and then telling us it's not a big deal. If it's not a big deal, then why do you keep doing it? It would be my initial rebut to that. But honestly, the people who are responding to this are starting to become more of the problem than even the trolls that are on the internet, and that brings us to Twitter. And please, I know I don't have to say this for my audience, but just in case, don't go onto Twitter and harass or bother these people. They're entitled to their opinions, just as I argue anyone else is. But this kind of rhetoric, apparently the TMNT trailer has triggered some racists who aren't aware that April was originally black. So let's check this tweet for tone and accuracy. So if this asserts two things. One, that anyone who disagrees with the race-swapped April O'Neil is in fact a racist, and that April O'Neil was originally black. Let's take on the latter first. This is April O'Neil from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the cover. She's not black. She clearly isn't black. He even used this picture in the tweet, which I thought was really, really weird. I think by reading the comments, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, but the hair. Look at the hair. Clearly the hair. But, I mean, it was the 1980s, and people wore their hair a certain way in the 1980s. And I would think somebody like the author of that tweet, being the age that he is, would have known that because, like me, probably grew up in the 80s. So no, that wasn't the case. And here is even a page from that first appearance where you see April O'Neil, where she first encounters the Ninja Turtles. And no, she still clearly is not an African-American woman. She is white. That's how she originally was. Now, you could make the argument that she was supposed to be, the creators intended her to be, but the colorist messed up or the studio made a correction or whatever the case may be. That's not an argument to be had. I don't want to rehash history here, and I really don't know. I tried to go down that rabbit hole and find out, and I got a lot of conflicting information about it, actually. But still, this is a colored page from a reissue. This wasn't the original comic book, because the original comic of the Ninja Turtles was black and white. So let's go ahead and look at a page from the actual original comic from the Ninja Turtles. And here we see April O'Neil again in the second panel, clearly still not a black woman. No, she was a white woman. And we even have contrast with Baxter Stockman, who is also on this page, who originally was a black character. And as you can see, because the creators were smart enough to use gray tones to give the illusion of depth and shadow, they were able to use that on Baxter Stockman to indicate, just so you know for sure, no, he has a darker skin tone than April O'Neil. So no, she wasn't. You're factually incorrect, or you're a liar. One of the two. Either way, this tweet that you made is horse crap. Because no, every word you just said is wrong. Now let's look at the former point. The point of, if you don't agree or if you are triggered by this, then you are racist. Well, the Ninja Turtles have been around for a really long time, and they have a very devoted fandom. And this is the April O'Neil that a lot of people remember, that a lot of people knew and loved back in the day. And April O'Neil has gone through a lot of changes over the years, but really her initial design has always had a couple of benchmarks. She always has kind of red to auburn hair. She's usually wearing yellow. Got 2003. Now, I was not active on Twitter in 2003, so I don't know the level of outrage that happened when April O'Neil was ditched her yellow color scheme and went for this khaki and purple ensemble that she's got here, but I'm sure it was just as vitriolic. People remember April O'Neil for a lot more than just her look, but the look is still pretty essential to the character. I mean, look at that compared to this. It is a departure. And if people who just want to see a faithful recreation, Lord forbid, they're not going to be happy with the aesthetic that they were given. And that's perfectly fine. They are allowed that opinion, whether you like it or not. And no, that doesn't make them racist. There's other problems with this character design that people might see. People may not like the age of the character. People may not like the body type of the character. April's usually kind of fit. This character isn't. But I don't know. I'm not judging. I don't know this character's story. I haven't seen the movie. So I'm not going to make a judgment one way or the other. I'm going to give it a shot. It's a reimagining. She's going to be different. They change the character, and it happens. And if you're upset about that, that's okay. You are allowed to be. And you're allowed to go into that movie with that prism, knowing that you are probably going to be upset with the way April looks on screen, because she's not the April you remember and that you associate with the franchise Ninja Turtles. Perfectly valid. Doesn't make you wrong. And no, that doesn't make a person a racist. April O'Neil was very well drawn back in her day. I mean, a lot of people, for whatever reason, grew attached to the character. And this new version really doesn't do the old character justice in the eyes of many. And again, perfectly fine. Opinion is legitimate, and there's a lot of reasons people can have that, not counting just her race. There's other things we could be talking about this Ninja Turtle movie. The age of the characters, the voice cast overall, the fact that Bebop and Rocksteady's heads are so big that I don't understand how they don't just fall over under their own weight. What the heck is going on with Splinter's hair? There are a lot of things in this trailer to nitpick, and that the fandom that can come together and have a wholesome discussion about. But this crap needs to stop. And I'm not doing this just to call out one person. Again, there's a lot of people doing it. I just grabbed this one screenshot because it encapsulates exactly what I'm talking about. And people that are putting this out here, you're as much of the problem as the people that are out there trolling in the other direction, because all you're doing is throwing toxic crap into the water, and it really needs to stop. All this stupid mess about fandom attacking fandom, studio attacking fandom, all of it is over. It just needs to be over. It really does. If we want any hope of any civility, of trying to save this comic book industry, of trying to finally have, things that we can all just cling to and love again, both sides need to mellow out. And this kind of crap, calling somebody a racist just because they don't like the way their cartoon character looks, don't cut it. These people don't deserve your attention. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your subs. That's the easiest way to put it. Don't harass these people. You don't need to go and argue with them. You don't need to do any of that. Just unsubscribe. You're better. You are better than this content. I promise you that. And if these are the waters they want to swim in, let them swim in them alone. I'm going to end the video there. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.